Then Nepal. Wonder how it must be to be Nepal today. Came in as challengers against England. And yet, if you look at all that's happened in the cricket world last few years, they must go in as favourites today.
Yeah, what a spectacle that was, that match on this ground against England. How close they were. They'll be wanting to go one better today. Still really fancy themselves in this group. Speaking to some of their coaches, they're really disappointed that they couldn't get across the line. But what a match.
They were chasing a target, they're batting first. What did you make of the decisions at the toss? Both of them said they wanted to field. Just a hot afternoon, dry, no dew, bat first, drier pitch. Might not be a bad idea to bat first.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a stats guy myself, and looking at the stats, Sasha, 3 games so far in this tournament at this ground. On all 3 occasions, the team batting first has gone on to win the game. Given this is the second time they're playing on this surface in the space of 24 hours, you'd think that spin is just going to get more and more into this game and play more and more of a role.
Especially because this track turned more than almost any Wankhede Stadium track you'll see for the last few years. At least it's a batting paradise most days. Kushal Bhurtel got them off to a fabulous start against England. And alongside him, Asif Sheikh. Years old Kushal Bhurtel. You'll find with a lot of the Nepalese players, almost all of them under 30. They're still looking ahead in their careers. They've got a fabulous future if they can continue playing the way they did against England. Asif Sheikh, much younger, 24 years old. Consistent top order player for Nepal. They're starting with an off spinner against 2 right-handers, Ben Menenti.
And this is a change from the first game where they went with Hassan Ali up top. He did manage to get a bit of movement in the air, so adapting to the conditions here.
He bowled well, actually. Right, here's the first ball. Ben Menenti. First runs on the board. The ball hasn't met bat, but the scoreboard's active.
Just drifting on with the arm there. No sign of spin as yet. Ben Menenti, see lots of experience playing in the Big Bash earlier this year. Watchful start here from Nepal. Interesting to see how they manage themselves today.
Quite different to the way he started off against England. As I said, there was a target in front of him, so he had to go from the first ball. But I think there's a bit of wait and see against spin.
Yeah, and there will be a slight expectation on them today, coming in as probably favourites, it has to be said. So as you're saying, a very, very different role and mindset and the approach to the innings.
Does he play Aussie rules, Ben Menenti? It's a very good first over so far, just that one wide of the first ball.
Yeah, Italy will be delighted with the start. Can they get out the over here?
Excellent first over by Ben Menenti. Nepal just 1 for no loss. Starting to get very, very warm in Mumbai, even though we are still sort of mid-February, and so it's wonderful to see so many people coming. I mean, if you're Nepalese extraction or Nepalese living here, how often do you get to see your team playing? So it's a wonderful occasion for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. Such a great sight. Great to see them back here again. This is Nepal's home for their group fixtures.
It will be Hassan Ali. Bowled a good spell up front against Scotland. Might have bowled three overs for very little, 17-18 or so. Always good to have a left arm quick in your side. First runs of the bat for Asif.
Yeah, I think he bowled 3 overs in the power play against Scotland. We were on top. George Munsey obviously destructive. He found his outside edge on a couple of occasions and was rather unlucky. Could have had at least 1 or 2 to his name. Just gets a little bit of shape back into the right-hander.
Benefited a great deal from having their own version, the Nepal Premier League recently. Talent coming through that. A good ball, just a hint of swing. I'm excited to see that there will soon be a European league, and I hope that gets off well.
Yeah, absolutely, Harsha. Just signs of that shape again, back into the right-hander. Yeah, you're bang on. So great to see some of these opportunities for these associate players now around the world. Really strong opportunity for them to have a good living now. The likes of the Nepal Premier League, the European T20 League now on the horizon as well.
Good work at cover. But it means Burtel is finally off the mark. It's taken him 8 balls, so it's a cautious start.
It's a good bit of fielding as well. It was a quick outfield here, and you don't want it to let it get through that ring. It's good work from Mosca at short extra cover.
Fascinated by this Italian side. They come from all corners, all bound by Italian heritage ancestry. They played good cricket where they come from, yet they find a way to have common ground and to come together. Loved how lustily they sang that national anthem. So Burtel and Asif, just want to see Rajbanshi at the end. They've got a left arm spinner in for Sher Malla. Life has changed a little bit with his first ball in T20 cricket. He picked up a wicket. We've obviously read this as a track where it'll stop and turn. Oh, just over. Just over, and will find its way to the boundary for the first. So what I suspect will be a few over the next 40 overs.
Yeah, it's the first time Hassan Ali is offered a fraction of width. That's all that Kushal Patel needs to unleash those arms. Hits it over the ring. First boundary of the innings.
For the next few minutes, I'll ask you, Preston, about the feeling when you're going to distant lands and hearing the national anthem sung there. Must be a beautiful feeling. Straight in. Man, just in front of point. Burtel was charging. He's not going to play the kind of innings he did against England. We saw Mosca can field, and now he can catch.
Yeah, Justin Mosca does the work here. Hassan Ali hits that hard length. Kushal Patel trying to pierce that ring again. Not the cleanest of takes, but that won't matter to him or Italy. They've got their first pole. Anjuman goes for 5. Nepal 8 for 1.
Just the kind of start you want, don't you? When the toss, put the opposition in, you're banking on your bowlers to do the job. Then Hassan Ali delivers in his first over. Also the dangerous Burteo gone. What it means is the captain is in. Rohit Paudel strikes about 120 or thereabouts. But played pretty energetic innings against England. The company of Deepinder Airi.
I thought it was quite a mature innings. Blew through that middle, took the game deep, really gave them a chance towards the back end. We'll need to do the same here today. Early wicket. JJ Smuts. Replaces Ben Manenti. Left arm spin. Will look to target the stumps.
How was that?
Fascinated by how spin is playing such a big part here at the 1K. They have come here for years and years. They're always very good carry, very good bounce, hit through the line. A little bit there for the quicker bowlers. This is a very, very different 1K surface.
Yeah, and we've seen with spinners so far, if they've been prepared to be brave and slow up the pace, allow the ball to grip in the surface, you can get a lot of spin. That occasion, just angling again. Italy will be absolutely delighted with matters so far. Well, to ensure they maintain that aggressive streak.
Very interesting to take a look at the speeds at which he's bowling. That might give us an idea of what works. He's bowling sort of mid-80s. This was Burthe. He weighs 14 because he's a Ponting fan. Ponting doesn't play too many of those. Not in control, I thought.
Yeah, and just got a little fumble there, but did the job. Looking at his bat there, almost looked like it hit down low.
So no more than 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle, of course. And once you go to 7, you can have 5 all the way through to the end, unless you don't bowl your overs in time, in which case there'll be a penalty and one of you have to come in. I think the keepers come back a little lighter. Is he shin pads inside?
Difficult to tell, but it doesn't look like it. Might have some shin pads underneath there. I hope so, for his sake. Very, very watchful stuff here. 17 balls now bowled. Just the one boundary to show.
Bowling about 87, 88 kilometers an hour, Smuts. Another excellent over. Just 2 off it. It's 10 for 1 after 3, Nepal. There's such a lot to do there. Of course, if you're a mountaineer or you love to see temples, a lot of them beautiful ones dotted all over. That's where they come from. Best performance at the T20 World Cup in the lead of Afghanistan. It's funny if they're thinking that slide could have been different.
Yeah, I'm slightly intrigued by their approach so far. I did think coming into this game, the power play would be critical, trying to get ahead of the game with that hard new ball. Make things easier to navigate through the middle period where we've seen spin be so dangerous. Fuller this time from Hassan Ali, and nicely punched.
Italy lost their captain, the vastly experienced Wayne Madsen. Been around playing in England for a long time. Just wonder what it must feel. You're 40, 42 years old. It's a dream. You come to play the World Cup in your very first game, an injury that's most likely, you hope not, keeping you out of the tournament. No timing, but enough to clear the fielder. Won't get to the boundary. This is normally a very quick outfield, but there's nothing on the shot.
It's good work by Grant Stewart on the boundary. Timing not quite there on this occasion. Hassan Ali looking to hit that hard length. Nepal looking to break the shackles a little bit.
Struggling with the timing a little bit, Preston.
Yeah, just appears so. Although I'm not quite seeing the intent that I think should be there, and I think that's what's missing at the moment.
Oh, just beats the fielder. There's ways to get boundary, and there are other ways to get a boundary. This would count among the luckier ones.
Yeah, Hassan Ali count himself unlucky there. Beautifully bowled. Some Phil getting the ball to shape back. But he can only find the inside edge of Asif Sheikh. Gets Nepal's second boundary of the day.
Was fine leg inside the circle, just had to beat him to get to the boundary. The two fielders out are very square, just behind square either side. This time more in control, better placed, and 4 more.
Yeah, on this occasion, Hassan Ali just strays onto those pads. Nicely tucked away. Waits for it nicely. Gets into a good position. Almost looks like an off-cutter, rolling the fingers over that one. Gets it nice and fine past that short, fine leg.
So 2 boundaries. What next? Won't go down in an art gallery, that shot.
Yeah, much better this from Nepal. Just taking the attack to Hassan Ali, trying to put the pressure back on the bowler. Transferring that, giving themselves a chance to build some momentum in this innings. Confirmation of the Italian team. Just the 2 changes today. Jasprit Singh in for Thomas Draka. Marcus Campapiano in for the injured Wayne Madsen.
Gotta love the name, Campapiano. Evocative. 4 overs gone, 23 for 1.
You touched on Wayne Madsen.
He's watching this. He'd rather be in the centre, Madsen. But it's a dry surface. I could not believe how much it helped the West Indies spinners, who you must admit bowled beautifully on this very surface.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Timing with Madsen's injury. But I know the type of person he is. He will still be very influential in that dressing room.
Still with Smuts. Just a single.
Trying to add value in any way he can. pitch for today. Same surface that was used in the fixture again between West Indies and England. Second game in the space of 24 hours. You wonder how much influence spin is going to have. Already, it's the third over of spin in Italy's attack.
Vastly experienced player, John Smuts. Of course, has represented South Africa.
Oh, nothing. Va bene.
Little single in front. Only got 3 boundaries so far.
Yeah, Nepal will be really happy if they can squeeze one more wicket here in this power play.
Quiet hold of that one. They waited a while for it. And this is the first biggie. Rohit Paudel hits the first 6.
Slightly over-pitched here from Smuts, just invites the shot from Paudel, just the one step. Unleashes those arms, 76 meters back. First 6 of the innings.
And even Fuller made a lovely sound at the bat, that one. I would not have believed this if you had told me this before the start of the tournament, that of all the pitches, including the SSC, that Mumbai has produced the maximum turn. You saw it was stopping even in the first game, India versus the US. It wasn't gripping a lot, but it was stopping, coming on a little slower than otherwise. Because otherwise, this is such a beautiful surface, it's full of bounce. 5 gone, and Nepal are 33 for 1. What's an Italian postcard without a pizza and coffee? And some lovely pictures from the coast, great blue colors. Of course, remnants of a magnificent civilization. Their first appearance at an ICC Men's T20 World Cup. They started well in this game.
Beautiful occasion. Not the first time they've ever met in international cricket. In terms of all internationals, had played 3 50-over games a long time ago. First ever T20I between these two sides. Some, I've seen a little bit of action on social media, calling it the Battle of Momo versus Pizza. We just saw the pizzas there. And that little Italy postcard, certainly occasion, a match to savour. So much excitement about this one as I welcome Ian Bishop.
Hello everyone. 2 deep fielders are leg side for this final over the power play. Deep mid-wicket and deep square. And there's the deep mid-wicket coming into play. It means that if he bowls with this field, Stuart, he has to be fairly straight, and an overthrow, which is quite naughty. So got to keep the ball tight into your stump or into the stumps. There were a few errors in that first game against Scotland where they bowled against their field early on.
Immediately you see one of the trademarks of cricket in Nepal, fast running between the wickets, quick thinking. Irene Powdell against England were sensational. Picked up a long way. Could be a case of 12 v 11 here today. That's brought the crowd to life. Powdell's second maximum.
Picked the off cutter, and it was hit in the direction where his 2 deep fielders are. So if you're Stuart, you're disappointed it's gone for 6, but at least you forced Rohit Paudel to hit where your protection is. On this occasion, he hit it too well. So you've got to applaud the batter for that.
Nicely worked. Should get a couple. Powell in and out quickly. Such a linchpin for this Nepali batting lineup. The captain in at number 3 has taken some criticism over the last couple of years in this format about his strike rates. But today he started very brightly, and that is even more important because Kushal Bertel was the first wicket to fall. Asif will go about his business. Pick that gap beautifully between those two. After some initial nerves for Nepal's batters, they're going to be given a real challenge by Italy coming into the contest now. Just going to be the single because there is protection out there. Possibly honours even, you might suggest, at the end of the power play. Nepal have lost Kushal Bertel. They've accumulated 46 runs as the players will take a drink. It's 46 for 1.
Yeah, it's very hot, very warm. Should be a fascinating contest, we all hope. I was a little surprised, I have to say, that they chose to field first in the heat, but it's down to execution, really. They know why they did it. They made their choice. Turn a little bit more later on.
Just wonder, there's an aspect of that decision because of what they saw from Nepal in the chase against England, where they were so impressive, pushing the 2-time world champions right to the brink. Plenty of batting to come for Nepal, and I think a good change to the team as Lalit Rajbanshi gets his opportunity to show his economical and accurate left-arm spin. They've been so impressive, despite the fact that he's gone for 20 with Hassan Ali. Very nicely against Scotland. One wicket to fall so far in the launch phase here in the first power play. Bertel so important at the top, got one boundary away just through the offside, and the very next ball perished. A juggling catch that was held by Mosca, and it was maybe keeping mid-on interested for a moment. Ali unlucky to find the Yorker in the stumps, and then Powell with that trademark slog sweep of his and a bit of aggression to split the two fielders in the deep, got Nepal moving. I do sense that a lot of today's contest, Bish, going to rely upon as to how Nepal react to that heartbreaking defeat. I think one benefit, they've had a few days to get through that emotional roller coaster that they travelled through on Sunday evening. A game that I think anyone who watched or anyone who was here for will never forget. It certainly has given them one thing, even though no points on the board yet, in a group where anything could happen, it's given them a net run rate differential not altogether too negative. So important to get winning, yes, particularly today. There are so many permutations still in this group. You could win 2 games and go through. You could actually also win 3 games and not go through, depending upon how things play out. Some have said Group C for chaos. I think that's a good call. As the wonderful background story of Christian Kalagamage is going to get another airing with his leg breaks. But he bowled nicely against Scotland, former close to Olympic standard athletes.
And the athletics was the thing he got onto initially when he moved from Sri Lanka age 15. So I'd like to see him moving in the field. 3 years later, spotted by a coach from Roma Cricket Club, pulled him in, and this is where he is. Can he get as much grip as Adil Rashid got last night? We talked about Adil in our build-up to the pre-show. Wrist spinners usually tweak it more.
I think a lot of that turn that we saw last night was because of the pace that Rashid was bowling at. Kalagamage will be a bit flatter through the air, has a good googly. 10.8 seconds clocked in the 100 metres, and a 7.3 metre long jump too. Fantastic athlete and a wonderfully skilled cricketer. Just the one wicket to go down so far. Took it off the toe end of the bat, he just fell from Kushal Patel, who always attacks in the power play. There's the googly just sliding on. Good skills from Kalagamage. No great turn, but good accuracy from Kalagamage and beats the outside edge. So much of the focus on this game in the build-up on Nepal, Italy. Very capable side. Dragged down, fielder at long on, holds on! And Powdell, looking for a third maximum, perishes. Not necessarily the best delivery. Powdell was looking to go square, but he could only pick out long on in the deep.
Rohit will be disappointed whether it was too far outside the line above the off stump for him to hit it squarer. If you're pulling it from that far outside off stump, usually it goes a little bit straighter, not into the gap, not over the boundary. So it's okay starting quickly, but what Rohit Paudel also wants is volume scoring, not just quick scoring. He's a good young captain, but he's gone for 23, 49 for 2.
Special moment for Kalagamage with a first World Cup wicket for him. Was the googly, just that little bit of extra bounce, maybe turned out more like a top spinner in fact. Powdell was looking to go towards Cow, dragged it to long on instead. Massive cheer, Dipender Singh Airi to the crease. Very much of this modern Nepal side, the most popular cricketer in the country. Got to that landmark, becoming the first ever batter from Nepal to 2,000 T20I runs with his innings against England. A change of bowling, a good one as Manenti will come back into the attack with his off breaks. Nervy times here for Nepal, Italy holding their own. Well then, keeper convinced. Has Asif Sheikh just absent-mindedly overstretched? I think we'll have a look.
Copy that. Review for a stumping. Standby. We have a player review for a stumping. It's a fair delivery. I'm looking at split screen now. Keeper's gloves behind the stumps. Taking cleanly there. Foot grounded. Slipping forward now. And freeze it there. Take it back for me, thanks, when it first lights up. Freeze it there, thanks. Yeah, there's nothing grounded behind the line. Nothing grounded behind the line. Thank you. I'm ready to make my decision for the big screen.
OUT. You say in all terms the line belongs to the umpire, so good awareness though after the fumble by the wicketkeeper, and contrasting emotions. That will disappoint Asif Sheikh and Nepalese fans. but rejoicing for Italy. They're putting pressure on Nepal. The higher-ranked team, at least to start with, 20 from 20 for Asif Sheikh, 49-3.
A bit of a giveaway, wasn't it? Initially in, great thinking from Gianpiero Meade, the keeper. He was convinced, he knew immediately, went to celebrate with Ben Menenti. Such a well-coached and a well-drilled unit, this Italian side. Arif Sheikh, the Iceman, to the crease. Will need some ice in his veins, because immediately, just across the course of 3 deliveries, significant pressure has been placed upon this Nepalese middle order. 2 batters at the crease, both on none. Such pedigree in this coaching unit. John Davison, the head coach, Kevin O'Brien, the assistant coach. And Dougie Brown, the other assistant coach. Lots with World Cup experience. For those that know European cricket, Italy's presence here is no surprise. As the 50 comes up in the 8th over. In many ways, it's the most difficult region to qualify from, Bish. 30 teams altogether set out for just 2 places. Started all the way back in May, June 2024. A famous win over Scotland in Amsterdam, or, well, in the Netherlands, was good enough.
Look at that last wicket again. It's the attempt to finally get to grips with the ball, the slide out of the crease. With the arm ball he's boasting about, didn't show enough awareness to slide the feet back, and that is disbelief.
Brilliant over. Italy on top, 52 for 3. Often will challenge the outside edge as much as the inside, despite being an off-spinner to the right-handers. Clever piece of bowling, but great awareness from the keeper. In some ways, the fumble may well have aided the stumping if he took them off immediately. Asif Sheikh could have been okay. Felt that spin was going to play a big role in both innings today. Remarkably, the highest degree of turn anywhere in the competition at any of the venues across India and Sri Lanka thus far, here at the Wankhede. Nepal will be used to that, but they have had their trials and tribulations against slow bowling in recent times. These two need to build a partnership.
Control of length, good running, and I suppose if the pitch is going to offer a little bit of grip for the slower men, although we haven't seen big spin yet because of the pace at which they've been bowling, what's a good score? Make an assessment of conditions. What can you defend based on the conditions is a critical assessment.
That assessment will change throughout this first innings, but already Nepal probably trending downwards as this one's pulled away, finds the gap and will find 4. Good identification of that shorter length that we were just showing, and Arif Sheikh gets his first boundary.
Nice control. to be able to hit it squarer because it's straighter in line as opposed to Rohit Paudel. Good effort. Manenti.
Good running, always a trademark of these two. Irie jogs, he almost walks that second. Since this partnership will be vital, they will try to run lots of ones and twos. Would that score predictor of 150-ish be enough, do you think, Bish? Nine coming from the ninth, 61 for 3. Do you feel, Bish, 150 in the mix of what they would like, or they're going to need more than that?
Don't know what they will need because it all depends on execution. But if you get above 150, you're in the game. On conditions like these, it's from what we saw last night. If you've got good firepower, you can go hard. But ideally, you want about 165, 170 minimum.
Italy going very, very spin heavy. Just the 3 overs I've seen thus far. I imagine Nepal will be looking at that, analysing that. Did get a spinner into the side today in Rajbanshi, but that was replacing another spinner. Harsha Bogle alongside us. Harsha, what have you spotted here?
Something I always look forward to when I see the associates play. I love their athleticism, their enthusiasm, and Italy haven't fallen short today. They've been magnificent in the field. It's been something we've seen over the years. Remember the Zimbabwe first came along, they were so good in the field. But watch them today, and even the keeper, very, very good behind the stumps, and I think they've just made it more difficult for the Nepalese batters.
It's a good point, actually, but we've often talked about because they're perhaps less, I suppose, technical skill of batting and bowling, you tend to maximize in other places. Teams like the Netherlands, as well as an associate nation, we've talked about if the full member nations, the more talented teams, the more powerful teams could say, let me take a similar approach to maximize in areas of fielding the 1%ers. I think they've got the right medicine there.
Well bowled. Edge saves Irie.
यस्तै परिस्थितिबाट धेरै समय उकासिसकेको विगत पनि छ। यसकारणले अपेक्षा छ यस ओभरको यो अन्तिम बल स्मट्स अहिलेसम्म प्रत्येक बल सिंगलको लागि र यस बललाई पनि पठाएका छन् दिपेन्द्रले लङ अफमा सिंगलकै लागि। 6 सिंगल आयो यस ओभरमा, 10 सकिएको छ, 67 माथि नेपाल। भारत विरुद्ध नामिबिया आज ग्रुप ए को अन्तिम खेल रहनेछ आजको दिनको न्यू दिल्लीबाट। T20 वर्ल्ड कप 2026 नेपाली भाषाको कमेन्ट्रीमा हेरिरहनु भएको छ कान्तिपुर म्याक्स। कमिङ अफ सूर्य कुमार यादव, ईशान किशन, जसप्रीत बुमराह, यो दावेदार हो, उपाधिको दावेदार टिमलाई नामिबिया अन्डरडगले च्यालेन्ज दिनेछ र सामान्यतया अन्डरडगहरू च्यालेन्जर्सहरू च्याम्पियनहरूको अगेन्स्टमा यस विश्वकपमा छाइरहेको इतिहास हामीले देखेका छौँ। यो आज 17औं खेलसम्म आइपुग्दा Erasmus
टिमले के गर्न सक्छ, किनकि भारतलाई अमेरिकाले त सातो लिइसकेको छ। सूर्यकुमार यादवको त्यो इनिङ्स नभएको भए मुस्किल हुन सक्थ्यो। र नेपाली समर्थकहरूको त कुरै छोडौँ, नेपालको ढाका टोपी रातो र निलो आज फेरि मुम्बई वानखेडे स्टेडियम सजिएको छ। प्रदर्शन पनि अब सुरुवात त्यति खास हुन सकेको छैन, तर यहाँबाट कन्भर्ट गर्ने क्षमता राख्छ नेपाल। स्टेबाट आएका छन् दोस्रो ओभरमा। यस्तो परिस्थितिबाट धेरै उकासेका छन्, त्यसैले धेरै चिन्ता लिने अवस्थामा छैन नेपाल, किनकि 10 ओभर बाँकी छ। अब 3-4 ओभर 5 ओभर यो जोडी यदि जम्न सकेको खण्डमा पछिको 4-5 ओभर त नेपालले रन बनाउने नै छ। प्लस जुन तरिकाले स्पिनलाई मद्दत गरिरहेको छ विकेटले, जुन पछिल्लो खेल पनि हेऱ्यो आदिल रसिदको ठुल्ठुलो टर्न र सबै जुन भेन्यूहरूमा सबभन्दा धेरै टर्न यही नै भइरहेको छ, त्यो डेटा पनि हेरिसक्यौँ। सो नेपालले आज एउटा एक्स्ट्रा स्पिनर खेलाएको छ। एक्स्ट्रा स्पिनर भन्दा पनि ललित राजवंशी मुख्य स्पिनर देवराती स्पिनरलाई लिएर आएको छ, किनकि धेरै दायाँ हाते ब्याट्सम्यान छन् यो टिममा। एउटा मात्र टप अर्डरमा लेफ्टी छन् भने अरू सबै राइट ह्यान्ड ब्याट्सम्यान छन्। त्यसैले आज अफ स्पिनर शेरमल्लको स्थानमा ललितलाई खेलाएको छ। राम्रो मुभ नेपालको र सताउने छन् नेपाली स्पिनरले, सुरुवातदेखि नै सताउने छन्। स्पिनको पर्याप्त अप्सन छ हामीसँग।
उत्कृष्ट बल रहेको थियो यो ब्याकअप लेन, थोरै जिस्काउँदै गइरहेको थियो दिपेन्द्रलाई। स्टम्पको लाइनमा फर्किएर अन साइडमा थोरै एडजस्टमेन्ट सहित यो 1 रनको लागि खेलेका छन् दिपेन्द्र। भर्खरै मात्र पाकिस्तान सुपर लिगमा इस्लामाबाद युनाइटेडमा अनुबन्ध भएका छन्। नेपाली क्रिकेटरहरूको लागि र नेपाली क्रिकेटको लागि निकै नै खुसीको कुरा हो, सुखद समाचार थियो हिजो। दिपेन्द्रलाई बधाई छ।
जुन विश्वकप छनौटमा, एसिया छनौटमा जुन प्रदर्शन गरेका थिए फिल्डिङबाट, त्यसपछि इङ्ल्यान्डसँगको यस प्रतियोगितामा जुन प्रदर्शन गरे, ब्याटिङ बलिङ फिल्डिङ जुनसुकै क्षेत्रमा उनी योगदान दिन सक्छन् र जुनसुकै फ्रेन्चाइज लिगमा पनि दिपेन्द्र सिंह ऐरी त्यहाँ स्थान डिजर्भ गर्छन्। यो राम्रो सट आरिफ शेख, उनको फेभरेट सट मध्ये हो यो। बल आउन दिए, ब्याटको फेस खोलिदिए, चौका। यही काम गर्नुपर्ने छ। 1 रन मजाले आइरहेको छ, 1 रन 2 रन, त्यसपछि ओभरमा एउटा बााउन्ड्री आउँछ भने सुनमा सुगन्ध। आरामले 2 ब्याट्सम्यानमा कुनै किसिमको दबाब देखेको छैन मैले।
दर्शक यसपटक पनि त्यो गुड लेन्थबाट थोरै बाउन्स पाएका थिए, थोरै आउटसाइड अफको च्यानलमा अलिकति मात्रै गाइड मात्र गरे। निकै नै राम्रो सट आरिफ शेखबाट। र अब भने त्यो पोजिसनमा फिल्डिङमा केही हदसम्म स्लिप बनाउँ अझ सर्ट थर्डमा फिल्डरहरू तैनात गर्न सक्छन्। लोअर फुल टच रहेको थियो, यसलाई पनि पनिस गर्नेछन्। डिप स्क्वायर लेगमा आरिफ शेख, ब्याक टु ब्याक बाउन्ड्री। एक्सट्रिमली पोजिटिभ ब्याटिङ नेपालको लागि आइसम्यानबाट। चौका अर्को लगातार, कर्डर फालेका थिए, फुल लेन्थ पाए, फुल टस लोअर फुल टसलाई फाइन सर्ट फाइन लेगमा फिल्डर थिए, त्यसको माथिबाट खेल्न पुगे। ब्याक अफ ह्यान्ड थियो यो बल, झुकाउन खोजेका थिए, आफै त्यो लेन्थमा फाल्न सकेनन् उनले। सहज आरिफको लागि, फिल्डर थिएनन् त्यहाँ, थाहा थियो उनलाई। नेपाली फ्यानहरू त आज फेरि पनि खुसीको ठेगान छैन आज, एकदमै खुसी। अन्तिम बल छ स्टेवारको, यो ओभर पनि महँगो बन्दै। अब भने फर्केका छन् त्यो हार्ड लेन्थबाट अलिकति माथि, थोरै यसमा पनि रिस्क लिन चाहेनन्। ड्राइभ लेन्थमा नै रहेको थियो। सिङ्गल राख्नेछन् आफैसँग। 11 सकेको छ, 79 रन, 3 विकेट नेपाल। दिपेन्द्र र आरिफ सम्हाल्ने क्रममा छन्, उकास्ने क्रममा छन् इनिङ। यो राम्रो साइन नेपालको लागि। 160 स्कोर प्रेडिक्टर त रहेको छ, तर यो पार्टनरसिप अझै जान्छ भने लामो, त्यो बढ्ने नै छ, निश्चित रूपमा बढ्नेछ। सफल बलर आएका छन् बेन्जामिन म्यानन्थी, र उनलाई पनि रिस्क लिनु आवश्यक छैन। आरामसँग टक्कर गर्ने हो। 1-1 रन सिङ्गलमा, ग्यापमा, डबल, यही नै हो अहिले चाहेको स्थितिमा। र मुम्बईमा त माहौल जमिरहेको छ। विराट स्ट्यान्डमा नेपाली समर्थकहरू आफ्नो उत्साह बिस्तारै बढाउने क्रममा। म त मिस गर्छु त्यो माहौल। खास त्यो परिस्थितिमा, त्यो स्ट्यान्डमा आफू पनि भएर त्यो जोसमा कराउँदाको, सपोर्ट गर्दाको मजा नै बेग्लै हुन्छ।
अवश्य पनि धेरै मिस गरेका छौँ। र मनेन्टीको कुरा गर्दा जुन किफायती बलिङ गरिरहेका छन् हेर्नुहोस्, यो काम उनले बिग ब्यास लिगमा पनि गरेका थिए। सबभन्दा किफायती बलर थिए भने बिग ब्यास लिगमा 6 भन्दा कमको रन गति। धेरै क्रिकेटर यस्ता छन् कि इटलीमा, कोही त इटलीमा पुगेका पनि छैनन्, धेरै देशबाट आएका छन् र बिग ब्यास लिग खेल्ने गर्छन्। मनेन्टी दाजुभाइ दुवैजना जुन खालको बलिङ गर्ने गर्छन्, राम्रो प्रभाव छोडेका थिए उनले, विशेष त एकदमै किफायती बलिङ गरेर मनेन्टी, र आज त्यो देखाएका छन् उनले। फेरि पनि मुम्बईमा माहौल छ विश्वकपको, नेपाली फ्यानहरूले माहौल तताएका छन् अझ बढी। नेपाल र इटलीको खेलको लागि समर्थकहरू राम्रो सङ्ख्यामा आज पनि मैदानमा।
र त्यसैगरी ठुला स्क्रिनहरूमा स्क्रिनिङ पनि भइरहेको छ नेपालको सपोर्टमा। पुरा नेपाल ठप्प नै हुन्छ जब नेपाल खेल्छ अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय खेल, र यो त अझ विश्व बन्छ, विश्वकप हो। आरिफ स्ट्राइकमा रहेका छन्, मेनन्ती विरुद्ध त्यति जोखिम लिन चाहँदैनन् यो जोडी, त्यो राम्रो सोच पनि।
रुम दिँदैन, एकदम स्टम्प टु स्टम्प बल राख्ने गर्छन् मेनन्ती। अनुशासन रहन्छ उनको लाइन एन्ड लेन्थमा। यसपटक फेरि पनि एकदमै किफायती ओभर। नेपाली फ्यानहरू त भरिएका छन्, साथ छ, त्यसैले त्यो साथको उपयोग नेपाली टिमले गरेको छ, त्यसलाई मैदानमा देखाउने प्रयत्न गर्नेछ आज पनि। 12 ओभर सकियो, 81 रन 3 विकेट नेपाल। एकासी रन 3 विकेट चाँडै गुमाए आज नेपालले। 49 रनमा 3 थियो, तर साझेदारी आरिफ शेख र दिपेन्द्र सिंह ऐरी दुई ब्याट्सम्यान जमिसकेका छन्। नेपाल
Right, Andrew Leonard is pitch side. Let's see what he's got for us. Lenny.
Yeah, just down here pitch side. Firstly, before I talk to you about the team dugouts and the coaching staff behind me, the noise, a couple of boundaries were hit there in that 11th over as I was walking around here. Absolutely extraordinary. You can see why the English team were saying that. But just over my right shoulder, a man that Irish fans know very well, Kevin O'Brien, one of the assistant coaches. Serious World Cup pedigree in both coaching staffs. So if we start talking about Italy's one, as Irie will work this for what could be 2 because he's very quick between the wickets. Yes, does get back. O'Brien, a 50-ball century in the 2011 World Cup, but the head coach of Canada, a 67-ball century at that time, the world record, then broken by Kevin O'Brien. That was back in 2003 against the West Indies. But then we also think of the Nepal coaching staff, Stuart Law, all the way back in 1996, a famous game where the West Indies, well, they stole defeat from the jaws of victory. Here in India, Australia, Shane Warne inspired, won that semi-final. He was playing in the 1996 World Cup. And then Ian Harvey, who's the bowling consultant in for this tour only, he was a World Cup winner all the way back in 2003. Yes, every piece of cricket I was talking to you there about, that was the 50-over World Cup, the ODI World Cup. But both of the coaching setups, significant World Cup pedigree. And you can see clearly being passed on to both Italy and Nepal.
Brilliant. Down memory lane from Andrew Leonard. I'd say fond memories, especially of the Kevin O'Brien 100, Michael Atherton.
I was there. Famous night and victory for Ireland in Bangalore. Amazing achievement that was. Now, Jasprit, who's come into this team in place of Tom Dracker, just looked from those initial deliveries that he wants to take a little pace off the ball. That one was a bit quicker. Kind of 2 sets of players really for Italy. Those who've come as immigrants from cricket-mad playing countries, and he is one of them, and then those from elsewhere who come through a family engagement. So it's a real League of Nations, and they do remarkably well to come together for an occasion like this.
moved to Italy as a teenager, cricket-crazy teenager, Jasprit Singh from India, to the town of Telgathai. I've got the pronunciation right, 60 kilometers northeast of Milan. Played some tape ball games a few years later via the route of the Bergamo Cricket Club, then started playing for Italy, debuted 2019. Inadvertently bowled the historic ball in the European qualifiers too. Maxed it out of the Netherlands. They lost the game, but it was the game that resulted in Italy's qualification here, the big stage. Steady start. Jasprit 8 off, 89 for 3 Nepal. It's a big day for the Menenthi brothers. Today, Harry, in the absence of Wayne Matson, and Ben's done a good job with the ball. In fact, we've got assortment of brothers, both camps. Asif and Arif Sheikh, or the Menenthi brothers, the Mosca brothers, one half of the O'Brien brothers.
Bumped into JJ Smots before start of play, actually, and it just kind of highlighted to me how far the game has come and changed, because the last time I saw him was probably at Radlett Cricket Club 10 years ago, which was my local club. He was our overseas pro. And if you'd have said to us then that 10 years later he would be representing Italy in a Cricket World Cup, it'd be a real stretch of the imagination. Kalagamage now to bowl some wrist spin. It's been an enjoyable surface for the spinners in this competition so far. Adil Rashid brilliant late last evening against West Indies. Kalagamage is a bit quicker through the air, so probably won't find the same amount of lateral spin as Rashid.
In fact, with his height, slightly quicker trajectory, almost mirror image of Gudakesh Moti, who bowled a beauty of a delivery to Jacob Bethel last night. If you can get that to skid, obviously under lights would have skid a bit more.
That's another measure of the way that the game has changed. Bowlers looking to spin it both ways. Your finger spinners learning to bowl the wrist spinner, as Gudakesh Moti can do now. Well, West Indies spinners were on song. 6 for 94 they took between them last evening against England. There was 3 for Gudakesh Moti, 2 with the orthodox finger spin, and the one of Jacob Bethel out of the back of the hand. And it was an excellent evening for him and for West Indies, particularly for Moti, who's had to spend a bit of time out of the team refashioning his technique and his action. Use that time away to develop the wrist spinner. So tremendous return to the top flight for him.
Beauty, Kalagamage. It was the googly perhaps, and Irie didn't pick it. There's a period of pressure building without a boundary. In pursuit of one, Dipendra Singh Irie is gone.
Yeah, apt timing this to take the wicket for Kalagamage. It's the googly, it's a good one. Just coming back both on the angle and out of the back of the hand. Dipendra Singh Irie, don't know whether he didn't pick it or just took the wrong option, but either way, he will pay a heavy price. And Nepal now 93 for 4, Irie gone for 17.
That'll make the intervention with the coaching staff much more satisfying for Italy. Dipendra Singh Irie is a dangerous player at the back end of an innings. They've been on point, so much improvement from just game 1 to 2. They just allowed Scotland to get away, and over here, this Nepal batting side have been receiving so much praise for their efforts against England and expected to take Italy down hard. It's been kept in check.
See Stuart Law there giving quite a lot of cork in that drinks break. I think that's where the coaches add real value to the associate sides, because they are less experienced, the sides themselves, the players in the teams, and somebody like Stuart Lord, vastly experienced cricketer. A wonderful opportunity to pass on his experience and expertise. Spinners picking up wickets as we expected here at the Wankhede, with Kalugamage 2 for 16 and Ben Menente excellent figures, 1 for 6 from 3.
Lots of magic on display today, but let's roll back the clock and revisit some from the past.
Over extra cover. Gone all the way for 6. Hong Kong have won. Oh yes. What a performance.
Nothing like your first win at an ICC Men's T20 World Cup, especially for an associate nation against one of the full members. Had the extra topping of them being the hosts in 2014, Bangladesh. Hong Kong getting the better of the home team in Chattogram. Bowled out Bangladesh for 108. Left-arm spinner Nadeem Ahmed. Star with the ball, 4 for 21. Got home with the 6, as you saw. With 2 balls to spare, final over thriller. Remains their only victory in 2 tournament appearances. Back in main event in 2016. Almost the hero for Nepal in the last game, Lokesh Bam. One thing he taught us is that he can take down the best in the world. An awful amount of pressure on England, and enjoyed hitting Jofra Archer for 6. Now he has a different job, just to almost build the innings and give them that 160 plus score. Kalugamage with his tail up. What about the second? But Lokesh has actually slipped at the non-strikers end. 94 for 4 after 14.
Terrific over from the leg spinner Kalugamage. That googly flipped out the back of the hand for a wicket off the 5th ball. Tried it again with the 6th. Landing them pretty much on the spot, which is not easy for a wrist spinner.
It's been the spinners that have kept Nepal's batting lineup quiet. Kalugamage with the wickets and Ben Menente. All 3 outstanding overs. He's not got a spell, so Brother Harry knows how to use him. But this is the phase where you expect the batting side to accelerate. Goes through. Luckily, sweeper cover shows that its damage is limited to just 2.
Have a look at that excellent googly from Krishan Kalugamage. A ripper. Saw a lovely googly from Adil Rashid last evening as well to dismiss Roston Chase. It's a great skill.
Well, the launch phase, first 3 power play overs were quiet, and then they took on from there. 34 of the next 3.
Better line that. Keep it nice and tight to the stumps. Don't leave the stumps. Just that first ball of the over was floated up wide. Haven't really seen the ball turn significantly yet this afternoon.
Big shot. Fielder in the deep, thinks he's in it. Excellent catch. It's Anthony Mosca. They are up for this, Italy. They are pumped, Italy. And Lokesh Bam was so good the other afternoon. Will have no further role with the bats today.
Yeah, big wicket, given the damage that Lokesh Bam can inflict. Looking to eye up that slightly shorter leg side boundary. There's not much in it today, but AJ Mosca, who put down a catch, an important catch in that first game. He put down George Munsey. This time Makes no mistake out in the deep, and he looks absolutely delighted with the result, as well he might. A brief innings today from Lokesh Bam, and Italy have another now. Nepal 96 for 5.
Well, dominated as expected now by Nepal's support here at the Wankhede this afternoon, but there's a look of concern on the rest of their coaching staff. Perhaps look at plan B or C. Most of their big hitters, half their side, back in the hut, and we still have 5 overs to go. Gulshan Jha, number 7. Plenty of time still.
Yeah, quite distinctive. He's a bit taller than most of the others in this team, and he gives it a whack as well if he gets in, and Nepal need a bit of that now.
So the only left-hander, so different challenge now. It was the left-handed George Munzi who troubled Italy, Kolkata. Slip in place, so Harry Manenti, I must say, on his first outing as captain this tournament, it's been on the money.
He has. He made the decision first of all to bowl first. I expected that a captain might want to bat this afternoon in the heat of the day, and given the spin that we saw yesterday, but so far the decision to bowl has certainly paid dividend.
Ooh, trouble, turn back. And the batter does so in time, much to the relief of the Nepal fans. Ben Manenti, excellent, 2 for 9 of his 4, 97 for 5, Nepal. He's just dusting off. Thankfully, that's all that he needs to do. Full stretch dive. No damage done. They have work to do now, Nepal, with 5 overs to go.
This is someone kid surface fish. Put pace on, you go travel for runs, you take pace off, they can't get a run off you. And I didn't think I'd ever say this about the Wankhede. Back with John Smuts, 3 overs for 18. Oh! I thought that, and there was a mention of that in the previous commentary stint, that you'd want to bat first on this, because if anything, with the pretty hard afternoon heat, it might slow down. When you bat first, you've got to score enough. And 150 looks very distant at the moment. Interesting, Michael Atherton was talking about seeing John Smuts play for his club side 10 years ago. Between there and playing for Italy, he's actually played for South Africa. The first of the left-handers in. Equidistant the boundaries today, so no preference on either side. Just to highlight the difference between pitch 7 and pitch 8 as 100 comes up. Pitch 7 was where they played against England. They hit 17 4s and 7 6s that day. Today so far, over number 16, 6 4s and 2 6s. And once again finds the fielder. It's that kind of day for Italy. Long hop, he could have hit it where he wanted. He found the fielder. It's an excellent low catch. Nepal have lost another Campopiano. Down on the boundary behind square.
They've showed great discipline and awareness in the field to hold their chances. We were discussing fielding earlier and how important it is. Discipline so far of this Italian squad is outstanding. Real pressure on Nepal as the wickets keep tumbling, keep falling. Arif Sheikh goes for 27, 100 for 6.
$100 for 6. Very different day in international cricket for Nepal. It's in Karan KC. Wonder how much bowling he'll have to do. He normally takes the new ball, but pace on is travelling. Lots of overs of spin. Nepal, in fact, have bolstered their spin attack with Rajbanshi. We'll see a lot of spin from them too. Another very, very good over. Nepal are marooned. They're going nowhere. 4 runs off at 16 gone. 101 for 6. Ben Manenti, 4 overs, 2 for 9 at the Wankhede Stadium. Look at John Smuts, 4 overs, 1 for 22. The leg spin of Kalugamage, 3 overs, 2 for 17 for the leggy. See where the runs have come from. Hassan Ali, pace on. Stewart, occasionally pace on. Kalugamage, another excellent story. You think of Roma, Bish, don't you? Think of Roma. And you think football. You think of a kind of coffee. Not of a Roma cricket club where he comes from. Tossing pizzas in Tuscany. He plays cricket in his part rest of the time. Now, another day that would have been in the stands.
Couple of wickets today that Nepal will reflect on, that the execution wasn't great. The last one of Arif helped to deep backward square. You want to go left or right. And he hears about it as he walks off. But take nothing away from the lower ranked team, which is Italy, 10 rungs below Nepal, making them sweat.
Once again, it seems that every time a ball is in the air, it finds a fielder underneath. Just one of those days. Yet another goes down. He's in the side to score the big runs at the end is Gulshan Jha. And he's got Manenti this time the catch, and Kalugamage has 3.
Rohit Paudel couldn't execute his pull shot. Arif couldn't execute his. Gulshan Jha, who strikes the ball reasonably well when unsung, hits it straight to long on. Again, great on Italy for their execution and their energy. Maybe Nepal will reflect they're trying to grab too much. Gulshan Jha goes for 3, 102 for 7.
Nandan Yadav is the new batter. Bowled so well the other night. Just wonder if there's anything in the surface for him today. But first, he's got to score a few runs.
You want to utilize all your overs if you're Nepal. Any team would want to. What are you reaching for as a total? Are you trying to reach for too much, or is it just the execution is off? Nepal spinners generally bowl slower than Italy's spinners.
And one more. They're both running to the same end, but they're different thoughts on the single. And this was just a giveaway. This was a surrender, this wicket.
It's not great. Confusion. Miscommunication. Aaron Casey wanted it, then he didn't want it. Sold his partner down the river. Whether he would have made it if he'd gone anyway, we will never know. But it's another wicket to Italy, and if they want their fans at home to take them seriously, they're giving a good advert for it. Yadav is angry, and he's gone. 102 for 8.
More anger, maybe controlled anger welling inside. Stuart Law. But you got to feel if you're Nandan Yadav. Asked if there was a single, his partner said yes. The next thing you knew was his partner was racing him back to the other end. Sandeep Lamichhane comes in. He's probably the best known of all the Nepalese cricketers. He'll do very well with the ball. He's a fine bowler. But at the moment, it's Kalugamage moving from tea country to coffee country, from string hoppers to pizzas, and leg spin producing wickets. 3 for 18, a run out in this over too. Nepal out going nowhere. And he finishes that over well, just a run off it. 17 gone, it's 102 for 8.
A tremendous spell for Kalugamage. 3 for 18 off his 4 overs. His work with the ball is done. The obvious is that he's a slightly different wrist spinner from the man we identified from last night. But everyone has their idiosyncrasies. He's a little bit quicker, but he was brilliant today. Absolutely outstanding. Wayne Madsen, who is not playing today, came into this tournament, as we all know, and he said, we are here to take a scalp or two. We are here to try to let the people at home know we want to grow cricket. We want to be back for many World Cups. The game isn't finished by any stretch, but they've given a good account of themselves with the ball and in the field today. I like this guy, Hassan Ali. Migrated from Pakistan at the age of 15. Loves the game, and I thought he was brilliant in the first game.
Probably got 2 to bowl if the innings goes that far. Takes pace off, no surprise.
You can see Karan Casey take off. You don't see it there. You see he just came into screen, and then halfway down when his partner took off, he turned back. That's what you call miscommunication and selling a guy. Yeah, he wants to know what's happening as well. Sold him down the river.
There can be no more dismaying sight in the game, Bish, than you're running to the non-strikers end and your partner's going quicker than you to the same end. There was only one in there. Beautiful stories. You talked about Kalugamage, you mentioned Hassan Ali, leaving their countries, going in search of opportunity, most often their parents, then making the best of what they can. The associates throw up the most beautiful cricket stories. Now, and in the accelerate stage, all they got was 8. Thinking, can they get to 150, Bish? They're saying, can we do something with 120?
Have to, and again, whether they try to bite off more than they can chew initially, whether they'll reflect on whether they assess the surface. They bowl slower than the Italians, so they might get the ball to grip. Sandeep, you talked about a couple of finger spinners and wrist spin, so they might get the ball to grip. I don't know whether 120 is what they ideally look for.
It was the spinners who brought them into the game against England too. Kushal Bhurtel bowled well too, other than Lamichan. Now there is a hit. There is a hit the fans and the players have been yearning for. A boundary after 41 balls and probably the best struck of them all.
Yeah, Karan Kesey's no mug. He's had his heroic moments with the bat for Nepal in the past. He picked the slower ball quite nicely. And again, straight is the way. They need a few more of these, Nepal. They've got 2.1 overs remaining.
Ten of this over. More runs might beat the fielder. This is running away to the boundary. The crowd has found its voice again. 14 of the over, 116 for 8, Nepal.
It's a nice touch. It actually surprised me the pace it went down there with to beat that sweeper who came in off the screen to the left. Doesn't retain strike, but they'll take the boundary, Nepal. We want to get back on strike, Karan Kesey.
So 1 for 34 from 3 for Hassan Ali. Stewart comes along, 2 overs none for 25 for him, Grant Stewart. Do they go back to Hassan Ali? What's their option? They can go with Jasprit maybe for an over. Lamichan in strike. So different when the spinners are bowling and when the quickers are taking pace off, even when they do. It's the way it grips, what it does after it hits the deck, so different. So Manenti is bowled out, Smuts is bowled out, Kalugambage has bowled out. There's 1 over after this. You can either go back to Hassan Ali and hope for the best, and the bowler's having an off day, or you can go to Jasprit Singh.
You're always happy with a decent wrist spinner, whether it's pace on the ball from Kalugambage or some of the more renowned spinners in the game. All you want is deviation, just a little bit of deviation either way. He's shown the ways with his googly and his control. Brilliant on him. Very, very good.
Release speed about 90 kilometers an hour, not the quickest, but much quicker than some other wrist spinners. Got a little bit of drift in, and then the ball turned back in. It's a lovely ball. Two should be easy. Once again, the non-striker, not the quickest. We saw non-striker the other day, not the quickest. Fazal Faruqi running to win the match for Afghanistan, but not running enough, not running quickly enough. It's interesting you say you just need to move the ball a little bit. And is that more and more because of the see the line, hit the line approach of the batters?
Yeah, batters setting themselves. I think everyone out there knows that you set yourself to hit through the line. If it deviates either way, when you're going with force, you have little time to adjust. Only the best players are able to adjust. And that's why lateral movement or bounce, high bounce or low bounce is important.
So often, the roads that we have, occasionally called pitches, do not allow even that little lateral movement. Today it's different. It's stopping, it's gripping, it's turning. Just a single.
Talking about Karen Casey, 2018, that win against Canada to go to the qualifiers. They only had 2 wickets left, and I think they needed 51 of the last 5 overs. He got 42 or 31 to take them to that win and into the qualifiers back in 2018. That's why I say he's no mug, no lower order mug. He can actually hold his own.
Great thing about that stat was not that Bish dug it out, but that he could read his own handwriting. Run for everything. 7 of the over. 1, 2, 3 for 8.
Italy showed good wares when they were trying to chase that 200 total against Scotland. Harry Beninti said they had to go hard. At times, though, I reflected and thought, could they have held a little bit, because they were always seemingly for most of that run chase on target in terms of rate. They just lost too many wickets.
Don't underestimate the 21 that these two have put on. Got a decent batting side, Italy, but they're up against a team stacked with slow bowlers. Straight up, just inside the circle. He's called for it and he holds it. Just briefly you wondered because he was looking into the sun, but he's done really well to catch it as Harry Beninti.
As has almost everyone on the field for Italy so far today. Their appointed captain in the tournament only lasted 4 overs. They didn't acquit themselves that well against Scotland. They talked about nerves and mis-execution. Today, so far, they've barely put a foot wrong. That's routine. That is not. Outstanding. Hope you're watching back at home in Italy. Hope you're watching. They're doing well. Sandeep Lamishane goes for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9.
That is the biggest Nepalese superstar you will ever see. Andrew Leonard. He's got himself the right headgear too. They love him in Nepal. No, Andrew, no. You can ask them to say no. They're in the midst of media royalty there. Saw him walking the other time, waving to the fans. Right, Lalit Rajbanshi is in at 11. He's got to get off strike as quickly as possible.
Leave that alone. Did he leave it alone? He left the ball alone. Nice length. You could see the ball hit that length and bounce. And that's what we talk about, lateral movement. In the absence of that, either steeper bounce or lower bounce creates the wicket opportunity.
Get off strike, Rajbanshi. Get off strike. Trouble at the non-striker, then hits. They have been outstanding in the field of the Italians. They've fielded everything, they've caught everything. Now they're hitting the stumps as well. And Karan Casey is stuck at the other end as Nepal get bowled out for a mere 123. The bowlers have been magnificent, but they've had some genuine friends as fielders.
Excellent from Harry Manenti. The way that he picked it up and turned quickly